I gotta watch out what I'm saying.
All right, we're live.
Yo, what
What
up?
up?
Welcome again to the Frequency Control Show. I'm Willie Stride.
I'm Rob to the mother effing G.
Are we gonna try not to cuss?
We're gonna try not to cuss today.
Okay.
We're turning a new leaf.
Yep. It was funny last week. I made a note every time you cussed.
Uh
My whole page was full, man.
huh. How many was it? What do you think? Like, if you had to guess.
Oh, at least 30 times. And
Oh, I imagine.
until I said, "Hey, well, so much for monetizing," they were like, "Oh, we already cussed earlier," and then I stopped keeping track.
Right. Yeah, we had already cussed earlier, so I was like,
It was a
it's
lot.
already a wrap.
I have it on my other booklet, but yeah, it was a lot. It was like my whole half a page is every time you cussed. I was like, dang, even
All right.
shocked.
So today, guys, it's winging it part two.
Oh, another wing in it.
Yeah, because what's the topic then?
Uh,
You got a topic?
thought it was
So
paying
winging it.
attention to your path or something. But anyways, yeah,
All right.
let's just roll.
All right. So yeah, let's go. Will's gonna set it off. What's up? Let's
Oh
set the tone.
well, uh, I don't know
You
what.
said you had a topic, right?
Uh, yeah, so I'm just gonna talk a little bit about fasting, I guess. I've been playing with it just a little bit last week, and then I got off of it, but I just wanted to say for people my experience of really not hardly eating for like 4 or 5 days in a row. I could not explain how amazing I felt. I had so much positive energy that I can remember, and I felt like I felt lighter, and it didn't feel like, oh, I'm losing weight lighter. Like I felt lighter, like spiritually in my steps and my walking. Um, and I did break from it there a little bit, but now I'm back on it because now I want to go further and see further than the 4 or 5 days and just continue down it because I could tell you categorically I was at a place of power with my energy, like so much that I was walking around at my job and I thought I could just move stuff, no problem. You know, I cannot explain how amazing I felt from fasting. Now, here's the thing, though. I guess I shouldn't say I was fasting because I didn't really do enough of the praying and asking for like my demons to be lifted my from my body and stuff like I'm going to do this round. So it was more like I was doing some heavy dieting, let's say, but I I was completely dumbfounded about just how amazing I really felt not eating. Now I can't imagine. It's hard enough to tell people, hey, if you think positive things are going to happen. But telling people, hey, if you could just go without the temptations of your flesh and don't eat, you will be in a completely different personal space than just continually just continue to eat. Now I'm not 100% not eating. I'm water, and then I am like Vitamixing, blending, juicing, whatever. Not really juicing because I am getting pretty everything I put in there, and nothing's going to waste. I call it Vitamixing, even though it's really a machine name. But I'm Vitamixing so I can get some fruits and vegetables and still be like on a healthy tip. But just in those few days, I I I don't remember feeling that again. So I'm really excited about this. The only problem is in my research on this, you're not really supposed to be telling people. So because it's supposed to be like a personal thing and personal growth. Um, but I I've never felt that good in my life. So I just want to throw that out there to everybody. Maybe you should give it a shot and just see how you feel, because I'll tell you what, I have never felt like that, and I cannot wait to feel like that again. I'm so excited about it that I really, stop my little bad habits and stuff, just because I felt so amazing, and I want to feel like that again and even more amazing, and get back in that place of power, just a feeling power. I mean power, like my energy, my positive energy. I felt more powerful, so I kind of want to go back there and then really concentrate on what I'm thinking about. Maybe I can create things faster, being in a more place with myself, and just a better healthier place. And I was vibrating at an extremely high level. That's what it felt like. That's what I mean by energy. Like, I was like, nobody could fade me there. Day 3, day 4. I was actually day 4, day 5, and then I broke. But I cannot wait, and I guess I can't wait to talk about it again. We'll see. You're not supposed to, but um, we'll see what kind of breakthroughs because I might have to, man, because this is a podcast about helping people, and if my experience can help you, maybe start thinking about this thing, and I do want to lose weight as well, and just feel more healthy. Uh, I'm getting older and stuff. I'm not a kid anymore, and I really need to start paying attention to that. You know, so, but losing weight is a benefit of fasting. It isn't why you fast. So, like I said, I wasn't really fasting, I was dieting. But this time, I'm going to fast, and I'm going to work on my spiritual connection and cast out the demons and things that I have in there. And, just getting out another level of blockage that I got going on, and just see what happens, see how I feel, see how much more I'm vibrating. I'm trying to move some stuff. I'm trying to come back on my podcast with my homie and be like, yeah, check this out. You know what I mean? And just woo, you know what I mean? Move. I see. Now that's getting a little crazy, but I was just I vibrating at a place. I always thought I could move stuff before, but I was at a place where I was like, oh, I am vibrating heavy. So I'm walking by everything like, oh, let me just move that. And of course, nothing happened. But the fact that I thought about it because I was vibrating so much was exciting. So, not saying I'll be able to move stuff, but you never know when you start reaching a powerful spiritual place that most people never do. And everyone I know never has done this, right? So I'm not even getting any information except for what I'm experiencing. So, otherwise, other than the stuff I've been researching about it, and proper ways to do it and benefits of it, and things like that, but no one I know has ever done it, so I don't have anything else to go off of. But I'm excited for the next round for sure. That's all I got on that part. But I also just want to talk about Robert's got some exciting stuff about the path, and things like that. This is important also, to pay attention, because he could have skipped right over it, but he's been working this for a while, and I'll let him talk about it. But this is exciting, and you have to. This is why it's so important to clearly define what you want and keep going, because you have no idea, because remember, let's talk about this radar screen. We can only see this much, and you have no idea what's going on outside of what you can see. So when you clearly define what you want and you put all your effort and all your action into what you want, you're constantly thinking about it. And then once again, people, events, circumstances will start coming in that'll help you achieve that quicker that you can't even fathom. And it's an exciting place to be when you're in that, after you've clearly defined what you wanted and you're taking action, the stuff starts happening, and then being able to see it. It's an exciting place to be, man. When things start coming in that you did not see, that is directly relevant to what you want and what you're going towards. But I'll let Robert break down his experience with this lately.
So, real quick, what are you using for a mic?
I am using my iPad.
It's a good mic. So that's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm thinking like, what is he doing? Because you're always loud and present. So it's a good mic.
Good.
Which is like, if it's a specific type of mic, I'm switching my shit. So because you're always louder than everybody else. So might be just projection. Who knows? But speaking on a little bit of the the dieting and or not even dieting, sorry, fasting, and really the whole piece of that, like Will was talking, the spiritual piece of that, like the fact that it had you feeling so powerful that you started feeling, man, I feel so fucking good. Sorry, oh crap, here we go, cussing. Sorry, it's gonna take probably 8 episodes before I stop doing the full cussing. I'll probably do it a few more times a day, but not. We'll slowly wean it off, but it'll be a process anyway. So, but the thing is, you feel so good that all of a sudden you're walking into a place and you're so confident, you feel so amazing, just from fasting. I mean, mentally and everything, that you're like, man, I feel so good. I think I could move some stuff, and I'm pretty sure I could. Nothing's gonna stop me. Like, that's somewhere you really want to be, is feeling so like, man, I think I could just like move some, and you don't know that can't happen. Okay, one thing we know is we don't know, so you can't say without a shadow of a doubt that can't happen, because you don't really know. None of us know shit. Think about an atom bomb. We didn't know that something just splitting an atom would turn into where it blows up, like Hiroshima or Iwo Jima, however the hell you say it. Like, you just would never know, like, somehow splitting an atom would break down and be like, or just blow some shit up. So you just don't know, right? That, because everything's connected. That's why an atom bomb can split an atom, and it connects to an atom, and eventually blows things up so wide, and before that energy dissipates from splitting the one atom, right? You don't. So obviously that means that all these atoms are connected. So like, you can't, like, atom to atom to atom to move that thing that is made out of atoms. So that's all legit. But the fact that you feel so good that you're like mentally strong enough to where you're feeling, I think I'm pretty sure I can move this, and it may just be some more of that work. So we don't know that, but we don't know that it's not. Will and I had probably a 50-minute conversation before that, where I, of course, doubted them. I'm always going to question people and really drill down into whether they really believe it or not. If they crumble quickly, then clearly they didn't totally believe in that, right? Which you're not going to convince me if you don't 1000% believe in what you're talking about. I'm always going to question you and always break down whatever it is you're saying. I'm going to strip it down to nothing. Make you question what you're saying, and if you question what you're saying, you shouldn't be saying it. So the bottom line is that's just the shit, like, that you can feel that powerful, that good, just from fasting. So something to be said. We as humans eat too much. A lion, a tiger, a bear, they don't eat anything. for long periods of time. Our bodies are designed to not always catch food, but here we go. We just have money. We go there, we buy stuff, and we have food that we're eating every 2 hours, as opposed to, you know, like regular animals who don't always get to eat. You look at the droughts when you watch this stuff in the safari, and they're like, it's been a drought for 32 days and nothing has eaten, and they're starving. But your body's designed, it needs to go through that. That's part of the process. It understands that there's scarcity of food until the rains come, and then in comes the plants, in comes the food, and in comes the birds and all these ecosystems that where you can start eating. Uh, but I just think that's crazy just to think. Uh, Speaking on what Will's talking about, which is sticking with the path. I've been doing music for, well, how old were we when we started doing music? Which is, this is gonna be
Yeah.
kind of a funny story, right? If we can articulate it correctly, it'll be a great story. Young, 15, 16. Like way before Will and I met each other. I'm sure we were into music, but like we got together and it was like, yo, you can beatbox and I can freestyle if I have a couple beers. Right on. You know, to the point of like, hey, you're pretty good.
I
Like,
remember that. You wouldn't rap unless you were wasted. Was that you?
no, that's Tony Johnson.
That was
So
someone.
no, that's not me. No.
Never mind.
Yeah, no. However, a couple beers did help me in the beginning. But the bottom line was meet Will. He can beatbox. I can rap. We like to go to parties. We go like tear up the party, And it graduated all the way to hell. I talked to Common, the famous rapper with the Black Seed. What was his name? Damn it. He was the best. He's the best if I ever remember his damn name. Normally I'd always remember his name. Remember he lived across the street from Dub. Anyway, we had a friend uh, from Alabama, a Kappa. Anyway, Slim. God, anyway, they called him Black Seed. Uh, Bottom line is he knew a guy who knew Common before Common was famous. I rapped to Common over the phone, and was talking about going to Chicago and doing all this stuff. And that is what set me off to go to Seattle to pursue my rap career, right? Which turned into a forklift job. But the bottom line is every day on the way bus to bus, I was rapping and battling people on the bus systems, waiting for the bus. I'd be rapping and battling people. Will and I would be downtown. Remember New Year's, like just rap battling, like ciphers. Like that's all, became a whole rap thing. And every day I would just be writing and rapping. And but the bottom line is, I've always been into the music piece of that. Fast forward, I end up producing or doing whatever through, obviously just getting programs and waiting and wanting to make beats to rap to. And next thing I meet, some people that know Snoop Dogg, happens to be their uncles, help them produce their album because I get good at doing the machines from trying to record myself. Start doing that, start working with Snoop, end up having a song 2 times, go on 2 different albums, same song, 2 different albums, and get 2 placements out of one song. Get paid shit, nothing for it. But the bottom line is, anybody else would have quit at that point. I had a kid. I left the situation. I was soured by the situation and didn't know my head from my ass in the music industry. But left that whole situation and had my child, was fine with that, and knew I still doing music, but just knew I wasn't doing the Snoop Dogg thing anymore. I was like, you know what? That shit, that doesn't have money involved in it. And I'm not trying to just be doing music for free, as I pay thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars for machines and spend thousands and upon thousands of tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of my time to get good at these machines over all the years. And so kind of left that alone. Then at some point established my S&D&T thing and started working this thing with other artists and starting to work a label piece. And it's funny. So I had the success with Snoop, and at any point in time, it's talking about what we're talking about is following your path, and then understanding you're going to have obstacles, and then recognizing that you still have a passion for it. Why give it up and why quit? And I never quit. I had a kid 7 years later. I'm of course another child in between those times, and never quit. Still always knew that I'm not getting rid of it, to the point that I pay for a home that's big enough to house two other rooms that hold my drum room with my guitars and my other stuff, and then another room with a fucking vocal booth and a control room and keyboards and all the other things. And you know, at some point, realize there is no giving this up, but I'm really not chasing it the way I can. But I don't know what the path is. I don't know how to do it, but I'm just not giving up. And then when I finally lock in, which is funny that this information we're talking about here on the Frequency Control Show, that happens to be from Will, is what helped me to kind of take that next leap forward towards what I'm doing now. And then it morphed and changed and changed and changed and changed and changed, and then finally COVID hit, and then some more opportunity hit to where I could spend more time doing what I'm doing, and then I focused heavily on just doing my own thing, making beats, doing my thing, marketing, and really creating a business out of it, and then magically reconnected with Snoop's uncles, and then no sooner than half a week later, I'm already got a song about to be placed on another Snoop Dogg album. And that's just like, and that's one of them. I just went through, I found 5 more. I have 20 more, but 5 that are the style he wants that will get wrapped over by Snoop, and God knows who else. Eminem, got, everyone right now. Um, and it's like, how is it if I would have said, what, this is just not working any time in those 7 years, but I recognized that the reason it wasn't working was because I wasn't working. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't putting in the effort and showing the universe how much I wanted this, or God, or however you want to place whatever you place at the top of the top, right? And I didn't do anything. So why would I expect any more to happen? Right. And then all of a sudden now I'm doing it. I'm doing it at such an aggressive level. All of a sudden, all these things are happening, and I wasn't trying for the Snoop thing. I had my own business going. I've got my own artist I'm developing. I've got my own marketing things and my own things selling and making me enough to where I can stay at home and work. Right now, I work for myself. Uh, and it's like all of a sudden the Snoop Dogg angle comes in. I'm like, what? Like, I'm thinking, like, I thought that was way gone. And then all of a sudden it's like, I mean, it's so like here that it's like, they're hammering me like, dude, pick up your phone. Why aren't you answering? Snoop Dogg's wondering why he has to wait. He says he's Snoop Dogg. He should not have to wait. And you're like, well, I'm not just twiddling my thumbs. I'm busy doing a bunch of other crap, But like, that's how much they're wanting what it is from me, and or at my portion of it at least. And it's crazy. It's all about sticking with the path and just sticking with what you know and what you love. And for me, guys, I'm 43 now. We started this strong at 25. So 25 to 43. I mean, you're talking very close to 20 years. And I mean, very close. I mean, you're taking a couple years away, but the bottom line is not giving up that path. And I'm talking, it's 25 years when we decided to buy equipment. Hell, we'd been rapping and freestyling, tearing it up, 10 years prior to that. You know what I mean? 10 years prior to that. So let's talk 30 years on this thing. You know what I mean? So take away couple years. But the bottom line is, 30 years of really doing it. You know what I mean? Like rapping it in front of the, Clearwater, battling people, smashing on them, writing raps, honing our crafts, working on the PlayStation 2 with the beats, and then hanging out together and driving to Seattle back to, 2.5 hours away, and really chopping it up like that. So we've been doing it prior to the 20-year mark, but buying major equipment, spending thousands upon thousands of dollars. Will, me, and my homie Tony spending 4 and 5 and 6 grand a piece, just dropping bread, real bread. I'm talking to the point that Will has to walk in the snow to work. Instead of spending that money, he could have spent on drum machines and equipment and put it in on a car and drove his ass to work every day. He's walking an hour in the snow every day to work. That's real deal. You know what I mean? And it's funny how all that will pay back way later. Way later that pays you back. You don't even know that sacrifice that you made will pay your ass back now, because Will knows damn well if I make it, he makes it, right? There ain't no like, oh, sorry, fool, like this is my Lambo, you get the fuck out of here, right? There's none of that, right? There's some way, somehow that's gonna work out, because there's a small circle as far as I'm concerned. Uh, but it's just crazy. It's like things you can't factor in that you might have planted the seed 10 years ago that will pop off now. And that's a big deal. 10 years ago, that seed can pop off now for you, as it did for me 7 years ago, or 8 years ago. Sorry, the Snoop Dogg thing happened. I quit for 8 years. The Snoop thing, I had a kid, and I went in all in the corporate job scenario, like district manager kind of shit, and then all of a sudden, bam, here it is back. And then I'm at the point in my life where I'm ready for it. I'm doing these things that I should be doing. Uh, but it's wild, it's wild, and it's real money, and now I know legal shit. I've been in the like all the legal books, and I'm like knee deep. I'm practically a lawyer at this point, so and that's no joke. Like I got my law degree kind of shit, like I'm there, and it's like my paperwork's right for this next thing, and it's wild. It's just not, know your path and then stick to it. And again, there's something about being loyalty to the path. If you keep changing paths, you never gave it enough time to marinate and turn into something good. And I do say marinate, and I don't say it simply. It's like, for instance, I do beef jerky, right? And I have the best beef jerky on earth. But the bottom line is, and that's no joke, if I sit there and don't marinate it for very long and pull it out quickly and put it on the little dehydrator and then break it off, I'm like, damn, this stuff's whack. This stuff doesn't taste very good. Well, yeah, I didn't let it marinate long enough to turn into greatness. Like, you have to understand, you got to stay with something long enough to even see it through. If you just, it's the same thing with a relationship or anything in the world. Like, when I gave it 1 year and said, yeah, man, I couldn't handle it, man, I was out. Well, if you aren't willing to see something through on anything, you're going to be in a lot of relationships, right? Anybody who doesn't let something fall into place long enough, and you keep jumping and hoping for that quick, immediately lock in thing, you're never going to get anywhere. You're going to constantly be looking for that fast deal. And if the fast deal was there, everybody be in that fast deal. Things take time, lots of time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears, and belief that this is going to work, and you're going to stick with it until it works. I may have my wife thinking I'm fucking nuts. Like, dude, when is this going to make us some money? You pay how many dollars a month to have these 2 full bedrooms extra of space, and plus a massive room that's about the size of our house. My bedroom is massive, unnecessarily big, wrong placement of square footage in a home. But the bottom line is, I have my guitars, because I got probably 10 guitars in there on the guitar tree and all this other shit. But the bottom line is, it's like all these rooms I pay for, and she's like, why are you paying all this money to, like, you're not making any money. We've been together what, 16, 17 years, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, this is not even working out for you, right? It's like working out for you based on your time frame. So you thought that if it doesn't happen for me in 10 years that I should quit? That's your time frame. That's not my time frame. My time frame is this will be a forever. I could be 99, and if I live luckily that long and it works out for me, then fuck yeah. 99 years old, I made it. You know what I mean? And there is no time period for me. Like so you've got to understand to find something and see it through, stick with it, figure it out. I'm already seeing it. I've got something popping right now that is literally the only thing hindering me is that my advertisements take so long to go be in review to finally let me go free. You know, like I called Will the other day to tell him about the Snoop Dogg stuff that was happening, and you know, he's like, "Dude, tell me." And trust me, it made me. I had this rush come over my body. He goes, "Don't tell me you've made $1 million already on your marketing thing you're doing." And I'm like, this rush came over like it was real, like that's gonna happen, right? And I'm like, oh my god, that feels good. But like as soon as like, no, no, something's cooler, like the Snoop Dogg thing. But I was like, man, that felt really good. And it's like there is that piece that's just another angle, you know, that's happening right now. But a lot of things in process. But you just got to stick with whatever it is you're doing, and if you truly love it, you will. You know, for me, it's like it's never been a question. I've never been like, I'm sticking with this because I'm just so stubborn. It's like, man, I truly like believe in it. There's no way I could not. You know what I mean? I pay, put my money where my mouth is for a room and another room and money for power and all the stuff to do this for God. I just spent fucking what $1,000 this week just on software for my computers for just to mix them for not mixing but mastering and cleaning up stuff. You know, my buddy put in a $200 bill. He said, "Here's $200. Let's buy that one thing you wanted to buy." And I was like, "Oh, you're down like that? Well, I'll show you up. Let me spend a G real quick, and I'm buying some like the dopest of the dopest shit. You know, Isotope, like all these like badass like softwares. You know, like and I was like, I'll show you, fool. Like, and next thing I'm just like dropping money like on this stuff, but like it's been hundreds of thousands of dollars and many years, and it's like you stick with it. Like right now I'm gonna have a couple more Snoop Dogg releases, so it's with who knows where that's gonna go. That's could go somewhere big, and I'm finally at the point of like, in the sense of mogul related dream path of putting out these artists stuff. I literally went through all their songs, picked out like 5 hit, like straight hit level type songs, and was like, okay, we get Snoop on these. These are gonna be jammers. Like they're like crazy. But that's like legit, real stuff, and that's all has to come from sticking with it. If I had given up, that would never happen. But I never did, and now here I am, where I've got like these songs that are gonna be massive, and I've got like, I'm talking not kinda hit, like I went through 60 songs and found the ones that were hits, and I got 5, and those are all going to Snoop, and they're banging, dude. I'm not even talking like kind of banging. They are banging. Like I don't know how they never popped off before. It's on, dude. It's so crazy, but that's where we're at. And I already got one that's committed to by Snoop, and that's a weak ass one. This next few that I hit him off with are good, and he asked me for more. Snoop personally, like, let me get some more of that shit, and I got bangers. So I'm like, stick with your shit, because these songs aren't new songs. I didn't have to do it. I made these songs 10 years ago, and it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
So here's the thing is Robert knows what he wants, right? And he's been putting forth tremendous amount of action towards it. But he had no, and here's the thing, now we still don't know, or he still doesn't know what the Snoop Dogg thing is gonna blossom into. But the point is the point is he couldn't see that happening again, especially the way it did, but he couldn't see it. And it just showed up again. And who knows now how much faster that's going to propel him to get to his, his real main game, right? Because he's been working his next logical hustles so much that now he's starting to draw in other stuff that technically how it's supposed to work will get him there even faster. The stuff he wasn't even able to see.
These things weren't even on my main logical next moves. Like I have the solution, I have the path, and then all of a sudden as I go towards that path, a bunch of other stuff starts fast tracking me. And I'm like, I wasn't trying to work with Snoop Dogg. I didn't care. I gave up. The Snoop Dogg thing was moving on. I literally created my own lane, doing my own thing, not needing anybody for help because the industry is bullshit. And then next thing you know, the industry reaches out to me, and I'm like, okay, but I've already got my other stuff going, so it's not one or the other. It's both. And it's kind of crazy to just go like, you just keep doing your thing, focus, and then you'll find outside things coming to you to bring you more abundance, whatever that happens to be that you're trying to go for.
This is why it's so important to be able to define what you want, your next logical steps that you can see to get there, and that's what you focus on, is your steps to get you to your main game. And then pay attention though, and be open to what starts show, because you define what you want, you get obsessed with it by thinking about it all the time, and then all the action you're going to take, which looks like 16 hours a day, all that action, you're constantly thinking about it even more. So all that action is just it's obsession. He got obsessed. And he didn't even get obsessed with his main game, really. He got obsessed with his next logical hustles to get there. And then now all this other stuff is showing up, is starting, because after you get up, obviously he believes 100% he can get it. He defined what he wants. He gets obsessed with it by thinking about it all the time, and then all the action is automatically thinking about it. Have zero belief, have zero doubt, and I'm sure he feels pretty freaking amazing when he thinks about the main thing and everything that's going on. And then people, events, circumstances, situations will start coming in that you were not able to see, that helps you. This is the things that are supposed to get you to where you want even faster. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because he thinks he thinks that all of this stuff he's taking action on is what's gonna get him to his main game. But what he doesn't know is mountains are being moved. Off of his radar screen, mountains are being moved for things coming in to help him achieve what he wants quicker, that he has no idea, no even inkling of an idea of what these things are, that are coming in as supposed to get him there faster. And it doesn't get any more exciting than that.
Here's another angle I can tell you guys that it's above and beyond what Will's talking about. Is I don't know what mountains are being moved and what's going to happen. However, I do know this. I don't know shit. I don't know what's going to happen, but I have to just know what I know and what is in front of me and go 1000% at that. And that is the action I take, is towards something. But sure, it may be something else that ends up turning out to be the thing. But if I do nothing, that other thing would never happen. And I know that for 1000%. I just know it deep in my heart. And the bottom line is, so I just go with what I know. And that's the thing. What do I know how to do? Well, I'm really good at crafting clay pots. Well, you think that's gonna make you $1 million? Well, I don't know. I don't know any other thing to do, so I'm just gonna craft a million freaking clay pots, right? And so that's what I'm gonna do. And so that's the thing. I think that for a lot of people, for you guys trying to figure out what this little curveball could be, don't sit there and hope for the Snoop Dogg thing to fall in your lap. Just go hard as it wasn't glamorous for me to make a funnel that sells beats at like just like almost slap you in the face prices, like where you're like, Jesus, really? I worked this hard for $27? Like, no, but like that's all I know. So that's what I need to go for. I can't be like, I hope Drake falls in my lap. Like I hope that, I get on Travis Scott's next album. I can't do that. That may happen and it's probably going to happen and I'm sure it's going to happen. But my thing is you have to start out at what do you know? What do you know how to do? What are you talented at? Go 100% at that and do that and keep doing that and never give that up. Period. Never give that up. Just keep going.
How can
And go ahead.
it's like what can you this is all the how you have to figure out is it's not you but every right what can you see happening that can get you there. What can you see? Well, I can see that if I do this I might get there, so let me do that. And then stuff starts coming in like, oh, I didn't know. For example, we can go back. I've already said this a couple times now, but I did not know that I wanted to write a comic book. I didn't. Robert and I had a conversation about this story I have. It's just like, maybe you should do a comic book. Within a day or two, a comic book artist commented on these podcasts and is the only one that's commented on these podcasts besides me. So I was like, and to me, that was like, well, I guess I'm going to write a comic book. And I sure as heck am. Because it's too obvious. It's like, duh. Here's the, it's like I'm talking to you. Here's 2 boats and a helicopter. We'll tell that story another time, maybe now. But, I could not see the comic book. And now it kind of makes sense. Wow, yeah, now I can have something to hand to Netflix to turn it into, here's what it looks like. Make a TV show, right? Not to mention book sales and fucking comic book. That's just a dope.
Not to mention look at Spider-Man and Daredevil and Batman and Superman and every show that was a comic book before it became a massive movie.
And they're all hit movies. Like, okay. I didn't have an inkling of writing.
Luke, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist. I could go on for like 20 minutes of all. Blade, a Marvel comic.
Yeah. So, but and who knows where the comic book is going? I just know what I want. And then just to have, if there's no such thing as coincidences, right? I'm creating these things by being obsessed with what I want and thinking about it all the time, and the action I've been taking, finishing a book, doing this audio book and all this other stuff. And I have a story, right? But the fact is, we had a conversation. I was like, yeah. And then the homie commented, I can't draw the pictures, that could draw the pictures and said he was down. I was like, to me, obviously, because where I'm at with this information and what I can see, what I can see now compared to before is paying attention to the path. To me, it's obvious. Because how does something like that just work out? We're creating it by being obsessed with what we want. And after a conversation, I created the opportunity for this comment, and it was so obvious by having an artist who happens to be the friend, you know, draw. Not to mention this guy is an ill ass artist too. So I actually have two. You know what I mean? If he'll ever have time to draw a picture, who knows?
Better, Damon Anthus. And if you think you're better than me, we'll challenge each other to this comic book.
There you go. Look, now we got a comic cop. I already told myself you're gonna get a page. If it whatever it is, you're gonna get a page.
I get a lot more than that. I know that already.
Well, I just know your time, right? I was like, yeah,
Well, my time has been freed up. I'm done with my shit. I'm done with my funnel.
There's no way I can have a comic book out and not have you do some art. That's just not feasible. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even want to put out a comic unless you were like at least did something. You know what I mean? Maybe it's and who knows what it is. I got all kinds of ideas. For maybe you just do an ad or some S&D Beats ad on the who knows podcast. I don't know how we're gonna tie it. Who knows? I'm just thinking. But the whole point is, I didn't.
Hey, at the rate you're doing it, I've got some time, and I should be freed up by then.
You do.
Well, that's why you should start sending me stuff now, so I can slowly build on my extra hour a day.
Oh well, I got
like where I'm chilling.
4 pages designed.
Well, then send me some stuff. My chill time. I can draw on my chill time.
Really don't think I can send you this stuff and how it looks. I can pretty much hear it in my head.
No, you think that I care about what your scribble looks like. Yeah. I'm not expecting you to be the comic book artist. You're not the comic book artist.
It's scribble. I actually put some pictures and monkeys and stuff like that all together.
Right.
Make it look more visually.
You're not the comic book artist.
I have to, but I was told I need to design the boxes, and I'm like, that's a whole other level. And
I have a whole book. I have a whole book of boxes for you that are like straight up the generic boxes for you, so you can do your own shit and just put it in there.
There you go. Anyways. I couldn't see that. He couldn't see the Snoop Dogg stuff coming back. You know what I mean? I couldn't see that I wanted to write a comic book, but it just happens to be right along the path. And the homie commented, and it's so. I'm literally. I sat at home like, I guess I'm gonna write a comic book because it's too obvious. It's too obvious not to. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have to take every opportunity. I've had a couple opportunities of some other stuff that just was way too perfect. But, I just don't think it's the kind of path I'm trying to go down. It's like things are coming in and you don't have to take every opportunity because there'll always be another opportunity. But be mindful, man, and pay attention. Don't just automatically turn it off. And it's still not 100% off.
And there will be another opportunity. I thought I squandered the opportunity with the Snoop Dogg thing. I had a kid and I was like, fuck everything else. I don't care. I just got to feed my family. Not worried about the Snoop Dogg shit. I've been doing it for 5 years. It's not paying me. So what's the point? Like, this isn't feeding my kids. Like, it's real fancy and yay, I can tell my friends I was on stage with Snoop, but it ain't paying me any money. These guys owe me money. Like, I don't care. And then at some point thought, man, after, 7 years, say 8 years later, thought, man, I really squandered that opportunity because if I was old like I am now in hindsight, I would have done things differently. But, lo and behold, that wasn't a squandered opportunity. More opportunities for that same thing came back to me. You know what I mean? It's just, you just don't know. You just got to stick with it.
And how many years ago was that?
10.
Again, 10 stuff you were doing 10 years ago is more relevant now than it was 10 years, well, almost. And it's more beneficial now where you're at than it was back then.
Yeah, all the files are 2011.
Yeah, see what I mean? This is how important it is. Now, if he would have veered off and started knitting shirts, then this probably wouldn't have happened. You'd probably say, maybe it does. We don't know, right? But what we do know is what you have done, and it's here. Who knows if you would have knit shirt, if it would have came back. We're not
and my skill sets are about tenfold better.
We're not living the what if scenarios. this is the scenario. So, you can make up what ifs all day, but it doesn't get any more exciting when you get to the point to where you can see this type of stuff and you understand this information enough that it's even that much more. Hearing that story from him even excited me, like, you know what I mean? And it all happened after the millionaire showed up on our podcast. That's everything changed after that. Everything changed for me after that. And then here you are, I just, man, it's mind-blowing, man. And here's the thing, it's not even supposed to be a shocker. This is how life is supposed to be. It's not even supposed to be a shock. We should be like, yeah, this happened, but I already know this is supposed to happen. But to us, we're still kids in the candy store, man. Every time something like this happens, I can't wait for the day we're just unconsciously competent to know, yeah, this is, I made $1 million. I swore too, when he called me, I did 100% think this guy made $1 million and he hasn't even posted it yet. I was like, I went and turned my TV on. It was like, yo, I got to go to work. You know what I mean? That's what I thought.
Yeah, I would never post if I made $1 million. You would never know. You would know, but nobody else is knowing.
Yeah, that was craziness. No, without even posting your funnel or whatever, your thing. Without even posting your thing, you made $1 million. I don't even know how I came up with that, but I did. I totally thought. I got like all kinds of scared. Like, holy fuck, right? But that's what I meant, like $1 million and you didn't even post your stuff out there yet. You're doing really. I don't even know how that would happen, but that's this is how much I want it, right? How much I want it for him, right? Just so I can be solidified in what I'm trying to do too, right? Like, oh, okay, 16 hours it is, right? Shoot. To be honest, hold on, I gotta turn this heat down. But yeah, this is super. Man, clearly define what you want. Get obsessed with it by thinking about it and figure it out enough for the how that you're taking tremendous amount of action towards it. Have zero doubt you can achieve it, and obviously feel good when you think about it. And then pay attention to everything else coming in around you that's supposed to be helping you get there quicker. We can end this podcast right here. You know what I mean? That's how you achieve your shit. That's how you achieve whatever you want. Period. You're gonna see some, man. There's some proof coming, man. There's some proof coming, and I can't.
In like 3 months.
I can't wait.
Just the Snoop Dogg stuff. When I show you guys and share with you the song in 3 months, you guys are like, shit. This guy is like the new song. Like, it's not like I could show you the old songs from way back where I forgot Daz and Corrupt and stuff. But the new stuff, you guys are gonna be like, oh shit, this guy's really legitimately doing something with this type of information. But in 3 months, you're gonna get to see the results of what I've done in this funnel thing and where we're at with that. Results on where Will is with his book, the audio version of it. Results of where he might be with his funnel, which you guys are going to be able to enjoy as well, because there's going to be a lot of tools and things that are for this specific show and the viewers of this show. More importantly, specific to the viewers of this show, this specific type of mindset.
I'm building my entire life around helping people realize, helping people unlock their inner abilities to be able to create whatever you want in your life. If you just want to be happier, you want to make more money, you want a new girlfriend or boyfriend, you want a better relationship with your kids, with your parents, with your spouse, whatever it is you want. It doesn't have to be $1 million, right? It doesn't have to be a yacht or a mansion. That's, everyone's happiness everyone's happiness is different than everybody else, right? You know, but I am literally building my life around this information. It's, it's all I really think about, to be honest, and I'm really excited, to be able to add to this podcast, man. Um, it's just can't explain. I'm really looking forward to this year, man. And, you know, there could be a virus out there. There could be some garbage going on with the next president. Not like the next president's garbage, it's not what I mean, but the garbage between the election and there's a lot of negativity out there, let's say. But none of that, actually, honestly, it's more of an opportunity, but to now's the time to chase what you want. But none of that none of that has any factor in what we're doing except for doing it more. you know, because I think the playing field is a little bit level right now while everybody's struggling and it's not easy to find a job and all this type of stuff. Now's the time. Robert's a perfect example. Now's the time to do what you want to do when you can't get a job anyways. You might have to be quarantined for 30 days. You might as well be doing your own thing while it's hot and there isn't anything else to do when you probably should stay at home. If that's your thing, that's my thing. I'm trying to, I'm trying to make $1 million and just never leave my house. To me, that would be bliss. never even left my home, and I made $1 million. 100%. But forgot what.
Hey, now I see why VR is so big to you. You're like, I don't have to leave my house and I could go experience things virtually.
Well, I gotta go out there to meet the people to talk about stuff and all that time. But after
No, you don't. No, you don't. Not if you can do it all virtually.
Could.
If you can do it all virtually.
You mean like the Zoom calls and stuff?
Virtually. Everything you need to do is virtual.
So yeah, totally good. And then just investing in it and having my money work for me. That's what I'm trying to. That's the next. It's hard for me too because I already want to think about the next thing, but if I can't execute at the small stuff that makes more sense, how can I even graduate and I have to I've had to stop doing that and really just concentrate on the steps to get there and build off of those. And that's pretty much where we're at, working the steps to where we were trying to go. And then when we go there, we can see further, and I have to remember where I came from and keep some of that humbleness as well, and gratefulness and appreciation for small wins that graduate to bigger wins as well. But yeah, I'm big on the virtual reality. I can't wait to get to that point. But I feel like I have to execute this point so I can really get to the next thing, which is investing in that. I got superstar ideas for that. But yeah.
Investing in what now?
The VR stuff.
Oh, right.
And then having my money work for me instead of just working for money.
Yeah, I just started investing a couple days ago, and it's pretty exciting. It's more like fun, like we're in Vegas, like woo, what is this gonna do? But it's like, so far I'm down a lot of money, but it's still like interesting, kind of like, oh, ammo, okay, cool. First I made like $15 in like 10 minutes. I was like, this is badass, and I put another $100 in and I lost like all of it.
You got
But it's
to,
interesting for sure.
it fluctuates, yeah. But yeah, just I don't know.
Yeah, you got to be in it for a long game. But it's interesting, yeah, for sure.
So I'm trying to get to that point, But first, I have to execute on the small scale, and that's what I'm working on. But yeah, this is super important, man. You know, every episode is pretty much, man. You have to know what you want, man. And I really didn't know until a few weeks ago what I really wanted because I've been changing my chief aim. Well, I've had this one for a long time, but actually, but uh, it has been changing. But I have finally clearly defined what I want, and that everything has changed since then. Just everything I'm doing, feeling good about what I'm doing, because I've just been kind of doing things and not really clearly defining what it is because I want this and then I want that, and plus where I was at not very months ago, a few months ago, my wants weren't very big, you know.
But hey, so hold on. I want to interrupt that. So there's something to be said about that. That's an important part of the path is fucking it all up and not doing it right because you're not going to stumble upon the perfect path. You've got to do what Will did. You've got to go, I was not clearly defining it. I was thinking it was like this. I was thinking and then I went to this stage. All of that is part of how you can clearly define it. It's part of a path, but as long as you're in search of whatever it is, you're gonna fuck up, mess up, and then eventually be to the point where Will is, where there was moment of clarity. Which is funny, is Will's teaching me the information 2 years ago. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry. Will's teaching me the information 2 years ago. Like he's a G, he knows what it is. And like 2 weeks ago, Will finally defined what his true chief aim was, which is funny because he's coaching me. You just don't know. It's a path and it's a journey to get to figure out what you want. And then it's probably a faster deal.
Yeah, I've been through a long here because I kept thinking I know what I want, but then I started, or what my main game is, and then after I really started thinking about the main game, see, my problem is I'm an overanalyzer, right? So I started thinking about the main game, and I was like, is that really even what I want? Because if I had this, I wouldn't even want that. So is that really what I want? And I've been fighting it, man, for a long time, and I just had to make it. I had to make it more simple. I really had to simplify it, man, and really define it to what my next step really is. And that's how I was able to clearly define what I want is my actual next step, not 10 steps, the actual next step. And once I got there, everything felt better. And then I've been able to cater my whole life around that. Everything, even like even all the way down to how I'm eating. Because I've clearly defined what I want. So everything I'm doing is towards what I want has to feed what I want, like now, not 6 years from now, right now. And that's what's really helped me. 100%. Well, this is another good episode.
Yeah. So that's just the thing. It's like it's a journey. It's a journey to find what your journey is gonna be. It's like figuring out where do I want to travel next. When you want to travel to the next spot, right? Like Italy, or should I go to Italy or Spain, or do I want to go down to Brazil, Africa? That'd be cool. or Greenland or Ireland, man. I always want to go there. You know, there's a amount of research and things you want to do to figure out where you're going to go. And so a lot of this stuff is like figuring yourself out to even figure out what your journey is. And the cool thing is there's no right or wrong way. Just start down the path. Start thinking about it. Start analyzing it. Start over analyzing it. There's no fast way to figuring it out. There's nobody that can tell you there's a fast way to figure it out. Because Will was trying to tell me how fast to get to mine, and I'm looking at a board right here. It's like mogul, I'm an eagle, like all these goals and 5 year and chief aim and next logical steps and currently where I'm at and to do did all this stuff. What I look like? What does the Rob of tomorrow look like all this stuff. And 2 years later, I'm talking with Will, and then somehow he gleans some information and figures out exactly what the hell he wants to do based on me going through my path, so it's just like, you just don't know. There's no real right or wrong way to do it. You just got to start down the path, right? And that's all there is to it. Just start down the path. And Nike couldn't have said it better than any other people. They've had more stars under them. Just do it. Just start down the path. Start figuring it out. Start researching yourself. Start soul searching. Really start figuring it out. And take on this information. This information will help you. But I found myself at one point going so much into this information that I find myself studying all day instead of going into the trenches. I can't be a soldier training for war and not have been in war and just been like training and training and training and training. You got to go to war a little bit. Get out there and go to war a little bit. And then I'll give you some more questions and the answers and help you really identify what you're trying to do. Get out there, fuck up a little bit. And that's going to help you get ahead. You got to get out there and mess things up. That's the only way you can do it. There's no pretty way about it. Get out there, really mess up, man. And that's going to give you your best information. It's going to be the most data. Get out there, mess up. That's going to give you the best idea of what you've got in front of you and really give you a lot of information back to where you can actually go, okay, I need to move like this instead. But you got to go out and do it. Go out and figure out whatever it is you're doing. Whatever you're doing, go do it, Don't mess around and try to think the perfect strategy. There is no perfect strategy. Go fuck it up. Go out there, mess it up, screw it all around, and then regroup, re-strategize, and rethink your path. And it'll be a lot of that. And if you're not down with that, go get a job at Lowe's. I think they're hiring, or McDonald's, and just be a regular associate, and they'll tell you exactly what you need to do every day, and you'll get a check every 2 weeks, and that's all good. That's what you're designed for. But if you want something greater, understand there's going to be mistakes, pitfalls, and all types of things in between, and it's going to take a long time, and there is no fast path. And anybody you've seen that you thought, oh my God, look at Henry Ford. Well, newsflash, people, he was 45. What do you think 25 looked like to 35 to 45? That's 20 years of failing. Well, what about the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy? He was 62. Look at all those years of him failing before he was massively rich. I mean, come on now. Look at all these people you're comparing yourself to and think of all the many of years that they were. Not everybody's a Mark Zuckerberg right out of college. Elon Musk. But even Elon Musk wasn't rich until like way late. Like he's 25 and he made some money and then he put it into something off of the whole Yellow Pages thing, but like it's like still like it's time, he's now 50 something and he's now made as much in 1 year as freaking Bill Gates made his whole lifetime. Can you imagine that? Bill Gates makes $130 billion his whole life in Microsoft. And you're like, this guy was the richest man in the world at $130 billion. Elon Musk made as much as the richest man in the world made in his whole life in 1 year because Tesla stock went through the roof. 1 year. That's the coolest shit on earth. The richest man in the world, Elon Musk. How wild is that? So, again, go out there and you're going to mess up. You're going to fail. But the biggest thing is you're in search of that thing. What is my thing? But I say this. What do you know? I'm good at pottery. Start making some pots. Make some pinch pots. Make some cups. Make some mugs. Make some stuff. And start there. And make a lot of it and create a thing and figure out a business behind it or whatever it is you're trying to do. And do it. You're good at hiking mountains. Go hike a bunch of mountains, man, and figure out how that you turn that into something. You know, there might be a guide. You like to raft? You might be a rafting guide. You like to take pictures? You might be a photographer. You like to pick your nose? Hell, you might do a YouTube channel where you pick the biggest booger out of your face. Who knows? The bottom line is, what do you know how to do really good and turn it into something? This girl knew how to make slime with like Elmer's glue and some other shit, right?
My
She
daughter,
made
man,
millions of dollars off of making slime on YouTube
my,
with
da-
Elmer's.
my daughter made this slime over. It was actually pretty cool, man. But yeah, do it.
That girl's a millionaire
Off of putting glue and some glitter.
from making slime on YouTube. So the bottom line is she went with she knows. It'd be like, I'm making some shit with Elmer's glue. Oh God, I'm a loser. She's a millionaire. Toy review kids. They're making toy reviews. They're rich as shit. Playing video game kids. I mean, listen, go with what you know. What do you know how to do? Do you know how to cut trees down? Then do a bunch of videos of you cutting the trees down. Period. Do a bunch of videos you can. You know how to fix cars? Do a bunch of videos you fixing cars. You might make a bunch of money. Be the trusted advisor for everybody trying to fix a car. Go with what you know. And then eventually, again, like Will was saying earlier, a curveball is going to come. The craziest curveball. And you go with what you know, and then all of a sudden Snoop Dogg's knocking at your door, or God knows who, BMW, to ask you to help them design their car because you draw these coolest little cartoon pictures that just are the most futuristic designs. You know, you just don't know, so you just start down the path you do know.
It'll
And just
help
start.
you. It'll your path to help you get down your path. Try and figure out what you want.
Right.
If
And
you're just
the big
blindly doing shit, because how can you achieve something you really don't know you want to achieve? I would try your most to kind of define something that you want, and I'm pretty sure if you want it, it's going to be probably something you like doing.
true.
Because why would?
But that at
go
the
after-
end at the end of the day, just start something. Don't sit there all day trying to define. I did that for fucking a year straight trying to figure it out. Instead of just going down a path and just going, well, here's what I do know. And just go. And the thing is, if you sit there and second guess yourself and overthink and overanalyze and try and think, you might find yourself stuck. But sure, you should try to be specific, figure it out, think about what you're trying to do, focus and do some soul searching for sure. But at the end of the day, just start.
Well, it can be specific, it could be general, or it could just be a feeling. But try and shoot for something, and then mold around what you do. You know, because obviously you're probably not going to want to achieve something you just hate. Probably, you know, you probably, well, hey, I like to do this, and I want to do this by doing this, and then go do it.
But and at the end of the day, just start, because the bottom line is, if you just start, you'll figure out 10 days later that you hate that, and then you'll start something new. But the bottom line is, if you don't start, you won't even know if you hate it yet, because you just never start. You were just fucking analyzing in your head, and you're trying to build the whole game in your head. You got to start. So start. You'll figure out if that sucks and that just is the worst shit on earth you just never wanted to do. And you'll course correct and you'll start something different. But the thing is,
You
start.
build off that
Most
because
people don't start.
even
Most people don't even start. They just think in their head, try to figure out the perfect way and what's the perfect thing. And then they just never go anywhere.
even finding out something is what you don't want is still a success.
True.
So
So start. Just start. Just do something more than you did yesterday. If you sit there and just do the same thing you did yesterday, you're the same place you did. You're the same place you were yesterday. If you do the same thing the next day, you're the same place you were. Do something different, or you're going to be exactly like you were before. And if that's where you wanted to be, is exactly where you were before, then you're in a good shape. But if you want to be somewhere else, you better do something different today. Start. That's it. Simple as that. Start.
yeah, there's enough man. When you define what you want, it'll take you to a whole nother place. I mean, now that I know what I want, I'm even sleeping different. I no longer sleep on my couch where I'm around all my stuff. Now I'm back sleeping in my room so I can take a break from my stuff. And it's almost like now when I wake up, I'm not in my living room around everything that where my stuff is. So when I do wake up, I'm excited. I'm more excited to go put in work because I'm not sleeping there, eating there, chilling there. Everything is right here. And it's too much. So now I've separated myself from around all this so I can be more excited to get in there and continue grinding. Like I've changed everything, man, because that's how much I'm excited about what I've defined and what I'm doing that I've forced myself to get away from it. So it's not in my face the whole time, like, fuck, I'm always sitting here. I'm always, I've separated my rooms. So now it's like, now it's time to go do business because I didn't wake up in my business. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know if any of that made sense, but you know, I I, I had to separate myself from my things that I like to be around, so I can play a trick with myself and want to be around my things even more.
And so sometimes to clearly define what you're looking for, it takes starting on your journey. You can't always clearly define what you want until you start on the journey to really figure out what you want. Will was on his journey, wrote a book, did a bunch of other shit, had 17 things that he wanted to do in the next year lined up. Then he had a conversation. In that conversation, he got clarification. So it took him going on a journey first. You might need to take the journey to clearly define what you want. But if you make no journey, you don't have a clear definition of what you want. You can't always just start at square one, clearly going, I know what I want to be, a rocket scientist, and I'm going to do this, this, and that. Not everybody's built like that. You have to have some experience, go down a path, stumble, break, fuck up, and realize this is not the path. And go, I realized I thought I wanted to be a district manager of a big company. Realized that's not the life for me. Screw this. I want to be a painter. And then next thing you know, you're a painter. And then you clearly define your painter and then you figure out how that works for you and how that you adjust. Maybe it makes less income and you go, you know what, this makes me happier and this is what I want to do with my life. Or I'm going to figure out how to make this make me $1 million or $1 billion. I'll be the best painter in the world. Whatever that is, you have to start walking down a path. So that's the biggest thing I could possibly say. And I've said it 500 ways here. Hopefully you glean something off that. If you don't, you don't. Um, but again, you might not glean anything off me, but if you glean anything, start walking down your path. You may be halfway down your path and listen to this, and that's good. Um, and if you know exactly what you want, then right on. Keep hauling ass. Don't fucking quit.
Yeah. In the material that we've studied, um, one of the one of the main reasons why people don't achieve what they want is because they don't even know what they want. And if they happen to do know what they want, they're usually concentrating on the lack of having it in the training, anyways. Um, now that we've been down this path, and even actually during this podcast, I would have to say I agree, and I hate saying that, but I agree. You just have to start doing something that hopefully you would probably want to do, something you enjoy doing, because we've been down this music path for a long time. And I realized what I want going down this path for years. I've always known what I wanted. That was to be an artist. Sorry, and an author. And I thought I had to do music to do that. And then I realized I didn't have to do music to write. I could just write. You know what I mean? And hence I'm an author now. And building on that. You know what I mean? Building on that author status, so you do have to just, I kind of agree. You have to do something. But I had it clearly defined what I wanted at the time, because I've always wanted to be an author, and I thought I had to do music to do that, But you have to, it's just even right now. My chief aim right now, I didn't want 30 years ago, but I've been able to clearly define is what do I want right now, not 30 years from now or 6 years. What do I want today? And that's what helped me clarify what I want. Is what do I want today? Not the bigger picture of all this list of extraordinary stuff. Just what do I want? Because I don't necessarily want all that stuff today. That'd be cool. But what do I want right now? Really want right this second. And then this will lead to be able to get to these other things, right? But what do I want to happen tomorrow when I wake up? And that's what I've clearly defined, because I feel like I have to define something, because I got all kinds of stuff I want to do. So clearly defining what I want tomorrow, right now, while I'm sitting here during this podcast, what do I want? Almost like what do I want to do tomorrow, right? Help me clearly define my current situation. It's tough. It's not even easy talking about it. It's easy to talk about it, but it's not easy. It's not even easy to explain this one, because it's been such a long path. It's not even easy to explain. It's easy to talk about, but not super easy to explain, because once I took action, everything changed. Once I quit my job and started to open a recording studio, everything changed. I didn't want any of that. Everything changed. Everything changed. So it is important to just start, because as soon as you start, everything will change. It's almost like a business. You can make a business plan. You could sit there for hours and hours and hours and make a business plan. But as soon as you start, you can throw that business plan out the window because none of it's going to matter because now you know something you didn't know before you started. So you can plan, and I've done, trust me, I've been killing myself with my main game. I've been killing it. And now it's clearly defined, and I can't even tell you how much everything has changed. My entire life has changed for the better once I clearly defined it. But that shouldn't be discouraging if you can't clearly define it. Just start doing something and you will be able to define whether it's something you want or whether it's something you don't want. And either one of those is a success. But you don't have to do anything, but you have to do something. It's so important. And most people don't even start because they don't even know what they want, so they don't even start. And if, like I said earlier, if they do happen to know what they want, they're concentrating on the lack of having it and not the excitement of having it. These podcasts are like, I look forward to these every week because every week I get to talk about this stuff to help other people, and it also helps myself. And it keeps me on the path and keeps me excited to stay on the path, just talking about this stuff. And no one even gives a shit. No one's even watching. No one else cares about these podcasts but me and Robert, even though these podcasts technically are to help you, not us. We can talk on the phone and talk about this stuff. We made a podcast so we could talk about this stuff and help other people. And I'm coming with a whole lot of tools to help other people with this information. So we don't have to do these podcasts. We can continue just talking on the phone. But the whole point was to help you. I didn't even know how much these podcasts would help me. I didn't know how much they would help me. We just said, man, other people should hear these conversations. And I was like, cool, let's do it. And then we don't even know what this is gonna turn into. We just know what we like talking about, and we're going to continue taking action, talking about what we love talking about, and we're going to see where it goes, and you are going to see as well. Yeah. So if you can figure out what you want, if you don't know what you want, do something you enjoy doing, and start down the path of figuring it out.
Yeah, it's going to take more time. So, like, yeah, if you can't figure it out, I mean, it's 2 + 2 is 4, but it's like, it's going to take more time. So, like, do more shit, experience more things. If you don't know what you want, experience more things, meaning, like, that's the point of start. Go experience more shit. And then eventually you'll have more information, more data to kind of sort through to figure out exactly what it is you're trying to do.
Now, I have some exercises for you coming here soon that you could do to help you think bigger and define and help you define what you want.
Yeah, for me, guys, I mean, even think about it, like just having Will give me the information and share it with me, and Next Logical Step, Chief Aim, really helped me sort through it. You gotta understand, I already was on stage with Snoop Dogg. I was already on an album. I already had 2 placements of my music. I was already down the road. People would have thought I made it with my dream, right? It took this type of information to really sit down and knowing that kind of stuff that Will had broke down to me in that information to really kind of go identify and then go experience more and then put it all together and then to really clearly define what I was going for. You know, was super producer, and then now it's changed to mogul. And because I realized I'm kind of like both sides of the brain. I'm not like just creative. I'm kind of a business mind as well. And it was really kind of like what plays to my things, but it was like when I had to sit down and really analyze what I was doing with that information. So those tools that Will's talking about giving you are what I got from Will before he created them into tools, just from conversations, and really kind of helped me identify exactly what I'm trying to do, to where I started putting things in place that are showing results for me now, to where now I have a conversation with Snoop and it's a far starkly different conversation than what it was before, where it used to be him leaning over like, what's up, Playboy, which is what he calls me, you know, and tries to hand me a joint or whatever, you know, like that, like that's a completely different conversation. The conversation now would be starkly different than the old conversation, and it's heavily due to understanding what I'm trying to do and what path I'm on, and understanding that that is the exact path, knowing what you don't want and making decisions accordingly. So it's heavily important to understand that. So yeah, again, Will has some tools coming that we'll provide links to and things you can get to from this channel in the description, to where you can get into that. Things that help me majorly change my direction and really take advantage of COVID-19. I was just talking to my wife tonight. She was talking about, she goes, for everybody else it's a terrible curse, and I absolutely empathize with everybody that has gone through it, and it has, if affected. I lost my job because of it, so I get it. My wife, her company got shut down because of it. We've all struggled, and if you couldn't make it through that and you're struggling through that, and it has impacted you to where you can't see the light, I empathize. However, my wife and I, who weren't people who stayed as essential workers, lost our jobs, both of us. We have two children and lots of bills, over $4,000 a month in bills. Um, it was heavy, and we chose to look at it as a blessing. And not everybody can do that, and I'm not talking you should, I expect you to do that. I understand if you're struggling and you're fell on your face over it, you know, rightfully so. It should have collapsed any normal human being, absolutely. um my wife and I were talking about it was a blessing for us. She's now running her own company. I'm running three more companies than I was running prior. uh, and we're working for ourselves. You know, it put us in a position to you know, shit or get off the pot, and no negativity about it, but it's been a blessing in our lives to really be there. And for a lot of people it's not, and I get that, and it's terrible, and it's starving people, and I get that. Not everybody understands or has the mindset as certain people or has had this information already, so they don't even know. You know, before I had this information I didn't have it. So but I was fortunate enough to have this information before that ever happened, and long enough before that ever happened to have it hit me and understand how to digest and move through that information, and then and make the best of it, and really understand perspective. This information talks about perspective. Like someone could kick you in the face, and it would teach you about the perspective of that kick in the face and how to appreciate that kick in the face, and then build out that kick in the face. You know, like it's just there's a lot about it. You know, like, and we were fortunate enough to be those people, and you know, to really come out to where we can't see a better year in our life. You know, like that's the craziest shit. Everybody's talking about how bad this year is, and we're like, man, we've become independent. We figured our shit out. We're making more money than we ever have before, and it's like this year has been insanely awesome for us. And I understand it's not for everybody else, and I get it. I fucking absolutely get it, because there were days when it wasn't that great for me. I was like, oh my god, man, I don't have this job. I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? My wife shut down. She's stressed out. No, don't get me wrong. We were butting heads, and she's losing her job. I'm losing my job. We don't have any money. We're flipping out. We're screaming. We're about to get divorced. All that happened as well. But here we are now, and it's kind of subsided, and we're like, wow, we made it out through all that shit. She's running her shit, and I'm running my shit. And we're, oh man, how lucky are we, dude? This is insane, you know? But again, if you rewind August, 8th, we would have been about divorced, and I'd have been a single man in a box somewhere, who knows. But that's huge. But my thing is, like, just this type of information really helps you put things in perspective, look at a situation and try to win off of it, as opposed to feel like the victim off of it. And rightfully so, you are a victim if this hits you and you lost money. I did as well. you know I didn't have a job. I had to figure my own shit out. I was fortunate enough to have a side business that helped float me. Not everybody can do that. I get that. And if I didn't have that, I would be in the shitter for fucking sure. Um, but that said, this has been a crazy year, man. I mean, and it's all about having the right type of information. So, you guys have the information. Again, like, comment. Again, like the homie said, it ain't that hard. It's a simple task. Press the like button. Comment on your, do you hate this? Do you love it? What do you like about it? How did any of this resonate with you? We'd love to hear it so we could kind of build off of that.
Oh,
It's fairly new. Hit that notification bell. We hit up every Thursday at 8 o'clock. Like clockwork. I've moved my whole life around this. Everyone knows, hey, it's 8 o'clock on a Thursday. Don't even play. Unless we got kind of screwed up on the like Thanksgiving and New Year's and
that's why.
Christmas,
That's why I kind of like Thursdays though, because Thursdays be popping.
Thursdays do.
Thursdays
Thursday's
popping,
the
man.
new Saturday.
At least 2018 or 2019. Sorry, 2020. Thursdays was popping towards the end of 2020, man. I kind of like Thursdays.
Yeah,
Dude,
Thursdays is
was
it.
on
Hey,
Christmas Eve was on Thursday, and we ended up doing a podcast on my birthday.
on Tuesday. Yeah, on
On my
Tuesday. Yep.
birthday, that December 22nd, that was my birthday, man. Because Christmas Eve was that Thursday. I did something about Thursdays, man.
Yeah.
But yes, I would sure love to hear from how these podcasts has affected someone else, and even if it's negatively, I just want to hear about it. I can't imagine how, other than
Right.
stuff, and I went,
Right.
but it doesn't matter, because even anything, it would be nice, even like, hey man, these suck. Well,
These are
it
terrible.
gives us something to think about. Well, that's their opinion. That maybe maybe it'll help us learn something about what we're doing and make it better. It's not.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. It's not bad. We can learn from it and be better. So it doesn't even matter. Tell us it sucks. Tell us it's amazing. We will. We would love to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell to get notified of any new episodes. Again, it's not that hard. Just click the button. Help us out. If you like this information, if you didn't like this information, I am not absolutely sure why you're still here an hour later, or an hour and a half later, whatever it is at this point. But we clearly know you love it, because if you love this kind of information, you love this information, and it may be all over the place, but at the end of the day, there's a morsel here and there, and a great thing here and there. And I know I'm winning right now. I know Will's winning right now. So anything we're saying is gonna relate to winners, and if you're not winning, how you can start winning. And so understand, we started from the bottom, the mud, if you will, made it out the mud, still making it out the mud. Some of us are fresh out the mud, and we're making it and doing it. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
Yeah, get that shit out right.
Still have some more.
Get
I might
that
still have.
dirt off your shoulder.
I might still have dirt on my shoulders. Shit.
Oh yeah, hey, yeah, it's nothing pretty out here. So